So, Rams cut Bobby Wagner. It's clear he can't. It's already been reported. He's looking for a place he can immediately come and win. Okay, so let's talk Bobby Wagner. I have a Lions team that does need a linebacker, coincidentally. And they have Anzalone and Malcolm Rodriguez, but they need a veteran. They need somebody who's productive. And it's crazy to think, too, Bobby Wagner last year, even, with the age, he was the number one graded linebacker, according to PFF. And if you just look at if you watch the tape, screw PFF, put that to the side. If you watch Bobby Wagner all year, dude can still play at a high level. And he is still one of the best middle linebackers in the entire NFL. So this is a guy you're obviously going to have to consider. You're going to free up money with the cuts you're currently making. Brockers, Vaitai, Romeo Okwara. We talk about re-signing Anzalone. Anzalone can kick the curb if Bobby Wagner's available. For a guy who is looking for a team he can immediately come to and try and win, well, I have the Lions, who may be favorites to win the NFC North. You may have an opportunity to host a home playoff game. And to me, Bobby Wagner with this defense, to not only add more of a veteran presence, but productivity, a guy who's been in this league a while, has played at different teams, but also at a high level for a very long time. It's somebody that I think won't be super expensive. He'll be productive. He'll be great for a young defense. He'll hold guys accountable. And at the end of the day, he's like an extension. We talked about Anzalone and what he can do, as really the shot caller on defense. Imagine Bobby Wagner telling guys where to be, holding guys accountable. I love the idea of it. I don't know what a price tag would look like. I'm assuming it wouldn't be super expensive. And if you can sign him for a couple-year deal, it's something that I think the Lions absolutely should consider. But if we're being realistic, if I'm Bobby Wagner and I only got a couple years left in this league and I want to win, maybe the Lions isn't my first choice. There's going to be a ton of teams that are interested and teams that are closer to a Super Bowl, but why not? He fits a need, he's productive, and at the end of the day, I think the leadership quality, the aspect of him is super valuable. So I'm all for it. If I'm Brad Holmes, I'm giving Bobby Wagner a call, or his agent a call.
Let me pitch you this, and then we'll talk about Bobby Wagner, okay? If I cut Romeo Okwara and Vaitai post June 1st,
yep,
I'm saving an additional $20.5 million, which means my salary cap space, roughly, will be around $44 million. Okay? 15 of it likely to rookies. Maybe a little more. Okay, well, let's say I'm left with $25 million after I sign my rookies. You want to re-sign Jamal Williams. Okay. Who else do you want to re-sign before we even get to free agency?
I would say the two guys I'm absolutely certain you got to re-sign, it would be Jamal and DJ if you can.
Okay.
I wouldn't be mad if they just signed Jamal.
That's fine. Cool. Set aside 10, 12, 13 million of that money. Well, then I have 10, 12, 13 left.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do with that? Well, of course, dependent on the draft. Do I go get a veteran linebacker like a Bobby Wagner? Well, there's a problem with Bobby Wagner. He just mutually parted ways with L.A. on a 5-year, $50 million deal. So who's offering a 40-year deal for a 32-year-old linebacker? Anybody?
Well, the 32-year-old, I mean, he's excellent. He's playing at a high level.
No.
Okay, I didn't want it to be like he's
going
to
be excellent for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm giving him a 4-year deal for $40 million. That's what he'll command in free agency, maybe more. Maybe he thinks he can get more because he's coming off an excellent season in L.A. Uber productive, and I think he had, 5, 6 sacks? Unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
He had a phenomenal year with L.A. on a down year for him. He's going to get some money. Now, does he want to go to a contender or get the highest bid? Can the Lions bid for him? They could. In theory, they have the money to. Should they? I'm not sold on that.
Because you're essentially, you'd be walking into next season. Let's say they even draft a linebacker. Let's just say, hypothetically, you get Trenton Simpson. So you'd go into next season, excuse me, you'd have Malcolm Rodriguez, Alex Anzalone, and Trenton Simpson at linebacker. And again, we talk about this defense. There's still holes in this defense, but if you get Bobby Wagner, we talk about the linebacker.
Do you want to bring back Bugs, Kaminsky?
You got no problem
Jamal?
at the linebacker position if you have Bobby Wagner.
I understand, but
like right now, we'd still be
the money's not adding up to me.
Yeah, that's the big thing. That's what I don't.
If I trade for Jalen Ramsey, well, it's not going to really hurt me this year. And yeah, I'll have to pay the big number figure next year. It's fine. I'll figure it out. But do I not want to sign or re-sign, John Kaminsky or Isaiah Buggs or DJ Chark or Deshaun Elliott or Jamal Williams? Do you not want to re-sign some of these players?
And that's
like I
the
said,
decision.
without re-signing anybody, if I cut Aquara, Vaitai, and Brockers, I have $43 million to spend. Okay? Then what? Well, let's say $12 to $15 million on rookie deals. Okay? Easy as fuck. No problem. Well, then I'm left with about $30 million. Is $28 to $30 million enough for me to keep some of these key players and go pay a Bobby Wagner? The answer technically is yes. But you're going to have to check off somebody you would prefer to keep, like a DJ Chark, off your list. Because I think he would cost the most. Mm-hmm. Jamal, I think you can get on a deal. Kaminsky, I think you can get on a deal. I'm not too worried about what it'll cost to keep Will Harris. Isaiah Buggs, you don't even have to re-sign him if you're going to spend a pick like I recommended on Cansey in the top 8, top 10, top 12.
Right.
So that's your reality. The numbers, to me, don't make sense. I love Bobby Wagner, the player. Mm-hmm. But I just think, unless you tell me he's going to take a 2-year contract for $30 million, I'm not interested. Because to me, he's going to go out and get Von Miller money. Maybe not that number, but that length. He's going to go out and get a 4-year deal, roughly $40-45 million.
No, and again, we don't know Bobby Wagner. We don't know what his interests are in terms of the contract he'd be commanding. But I agree with Justin Station on the YouTube chat thread. He says Wagner could help in just the defense period, not just linebacker. I mean, I absolutely agree. And people who, talk about, well, and I agree. I mean, to a certain extent, this Lions defense and what Brad's building, they're building it young, right? You got a lot of guys. It's supposed to be, for the long haul. Like all these young players getting better, but you don't have a ton of time you can wait. Like this team's window is opening up right now. So if you think that way and you think the Lions could contend for their division this year, why not go be aggressive and try and add pieces that could put you over the top?
I don't think you guys, and I'm really going to try to be respectful here, okay? I don't think you guys understand how this works, honestly. For the Rams to cut Bobby Wagner right now would be cap hell for them. If they were to cut him post June 1st, they would only save $8 million, and they would take on $5 million in dead cap space. What they've done is mutually parted ways. That never happens. This isn't a, hey, we're releasing Bobby Wagner. This is Bobby Wagner and the Rams sat down and came to an amicable agreement.
Yeah.
Moving forward. In the NBA, it's typically a buyout. This is really uncommon in the NFL. So he's going to be a free agent. Rams are going to save all the money in the world, and they're going to be happy. Both sides are happy. He can go out and get maybe more money. And like I mentioned, he's coming off an excellent season. Would I love him in Detroit? Fuck yeah. Great linebacker. Yeah. Money is going to be tough.
Yeah, the money's got to make sense.
Money, it's not that it has to make sense. I would overpay for that good of a linebacker. What's the problem? Well, I want John Kaminsky back. I want Jamal Williams back. I'd like to sign my 2 first-round picks, my 2 second-round picks.
And this is all. And I'm a little different in opinion on this because I love Buggs, I love Kaminsky, but
you need bodies.
And
maybe those are bodies in the draft, but
because if we're talking like if you have a chance to get Bobby Wagner, Buggs and Kaminsky to me, I mean I'm okay. I'll sleep at night knowing I have Bobby Wagner in the building because it's not just the productivity, right? It's the veteran. There's a lot of things that Bobby Wagner immediately brings to your defense before he even gets on the field. Like just a guy like Bobby Wagner you don't currently have clearly. Alex Anzalone, like the effort, love Alex Anzalone, but if we're being honest, that's your best linebacker going into the next season. You got a problem. So I think the Lions should consider it. Who knows if it gets done? I'm curious what kind of money Bobby would command because I think that's the big thing.
Let me ask you this.
And the amount of years on the contract.
Is the GM. All right, You're the GM right now. I give you the option. Jeff, you can resign the players you'd like. A few casualties, though.
Okay.
Okay. Now you're going to sign all your draft picks. I'll give you the board, draft whoever you want. But Jalen Ramsey, Bobby Wagner. Who would you rather have on this Detroit Lions team? And I told you it was affordable to go out and trade for Jalen Ramsey. That's what I want to know.
I would say Ramsey. Yeah.
Because that, to me,
he's guarding number one wide receivers. I mean, that's huge.
Am I probably going to have to give up a second-round pick? Yeah, maybe. Am I going to have to give up a future fourth-round pick? Yeah, maybe. But I'm getting a top 5 corner in the NFL. And he's only, 28 years old? And yeah, he's expensive. But I've got Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I've got Jameson Williams.
Right.
I've got Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Pascal, James Houston. I've got a boatload of players. Malcolm Rodriguez, Kirby Joseph. You want me to continue? All on rookie deals.
And you're going to add a couple more.
I'm not paying anybody anytime soon yet. So yes, Detroit, you are in a position to go out and pay a Bobby Wagner or a Jalen Ramsey. My problem with Bobby Wagner is I do think he's going to be available in the market looking out for his last big contract. Would you give a 4-year contract to a 32-year-old? The only 32-year-old you would give it to is a quarterback. No other position. You wouldn't sign a running back to a 4-year extension, a wide receiver to a 4-year extension, maybe an offensive lineman at the age of 32, maybe if they've shown durability, but even then, you would question it. You wouldn't sign an edge rusher on a 4-year deal unless you're Buffalo and you fucking sign Von Miller to a 5-year deal or 6-year, whatever it was. Ridiculous. You don't sign a linebacker at 32, a corner at 32. You don't just, it doesn't happen. So I'm curious. I really am. To me, Ramsey would be ideal, but who's more attainable? I think it's Wagner, no?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair because you'd have to go out and, Wagner wouldn't cost you assets. You could just go sign Wagner. So they're both great players. Obviously, the Lions need help at both positions, linebacker and corner, but you had to at least bring Bobby up. I don't personally, if I had to give a guess, I don't think Detroit's the destination for him personally. Obviously, we don't know Bobby, but I'm assuming he'd go to a team that's, a player away from winning a Super Bowl. But that's just me. But the Lions should at least be interested. I mean, how can you not? The guy was.
We'll see.
He was off the charts last year, even at his age.
They have draft capital, man. They have the draft capital to move up. They have the capital to draft the linebackers in the late first, early second round. They can do whatever the hell they want this year. To me, it's like a nice summer day. You're driving down Woodward, windows down, not a care in the world. Like, to me, that's what being a Detroit Lions fan is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Heading into the draft. I'm not worried. I've got the right GM in place. Yeah, I'll like a few players more than you will, and everybody at home will. Fine, and you'll have the same for yourselves. You'll like somebody maybe that I don't like as much, and that's fine. We can do that all day. But when it comes to positional value, I've never seen a fan base more in tune to what they need. You need a corner. You need a linebacker. You want help on the interior. You know exactly what this team needs. I don't got to sit here and tell you that. What am I, your father? You know exactly what they need. This won't be an argument heading into the draft like last year was, a quarterback, safety. Shut the fuck up, get an edge rusher. Right? Then Dad has to step in. But this year, I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah, we are.
Now, the Bijan people, I get it. I'm not going to call you a bunch of fucking idiots. I'm not. I get it.
Can't wait to break him down later.
I just have a philosophy. I don't spend first-round picks on running backs.
What are you, Mel Kiper?
No, I'm not a fucking idiot.
No, I'm joking. And by the way, Patrick, best comment so far. I think it summarizes everything we're talking about. He says it's great to be in this position.
Oh, yeah.
Just to have these conversations, man. What a time.